Emory Tate, an American international chess master with a peak rating of 2505. Tate was renowned for his dangerous and high-progressive style of chess, in which he perfectly demonstrates in the following game. His opponent, Alexander Ivanov, a Soviet-born American chess grandmaster who at the peak of his powers was rated 2606 and was ranked within the top 150 players in the world in 2006. I recommend parental guidance for the following game, as it showcases extreme violence on the chessboards. Hope you enjoy. So Tate starts the game with c4, the English opening. A very well-respected chess opening. Was not as common as e4 or d4, but it's probably the third most popular alternative to the kind of major pawn pushes in the center. His opponent goes g6, standard. This is definitely one of the ways you can play against the English opening. You can also go c5, you can go e5, you can go g6, and his opponent goes g6. So many ways here black can deal with it. Emory Tate here goes knight c3, bishop g7 is played, and now d4. Really kind of making a center here. The most popular move here is either knight f6 or d6. However, his opponent goes for a slightly less popular move and goes for c5, what is known as the pterodactyl defense. And now if you're wondering here, why can I not just take here and win a pawn? We'll say after this and this, you get your pawns tripled, and this is extremely ugly because all these pawns are very weak. They're isolated. No other pawns can defend these pawns. If you notice, if I push this pawn up, say if I move this pawn up, see how these two pawns defend. These pawns are all isolated, so it would be extremely weak, and they're also all doubled, so these two pawns cannot move forward, so they're also immobile. So that's why Tate does not take. He plays d5 here, taking more space in the center. Makes a lot of sense because these pawns now control more squares in the enemy's territory. d6 is played. Now Tate goes e4, reinforcing the center. e6 is played. Because if you see here, Emory Tate has a very strong center, so it makes sense for black to chip away at the center. d6 is played, and now bishop c3 is played. I do want to say here, more popular moves are actually knight f3, just kind of keeping the tension. And say if this is taken, and this pawn controls good squares. This pawn is backwards, which means there's no pawn that can support it. And also this light square bishop really comes to life, so this would be very positive for white. But Tate does not do that. He has another idea in mind. He plays de6, and now bishop c3 is played. And now you might be wondering why bishop c3 was played. Why would you exchange this good bishop that actually is controlling quite a lot of squares and really slicing across this board? Why would you exchange it now? Well, let's look. Say black here just takes back. Then after knight b5 hitting this and this, there's no real way for black to really conveniently defend this pawn. I mean, you could try king e7, but now you can't castle your king anymore. Or you could try bishop f8, what's the most popular. After bishop f8, you can actually strike now with e5. And if this is taken, then you can take, and after takes, you could play bishop g5, bringing your piece out with tempi. And now if bishop e7 is tried to play, taking this bishop off the kind of nasty back rank, you can actually castle and check. And this is just very nice because you're developing your pieces, but all your developing pieces, they come with a threat, so you gain time. So if you see, this comes with check, and this comes with check. And after knight d7, this position is very positive because in this position, black's pawns are doubled. You've got a nice rook here. Knight is good. Bishop is good. This is a very positive position. Say after move like knight f3, you can target this. Very positive for white here. So his opponent back here decided that he didn't want that to happen. So he correctly took. And here Emory Tate takes back and now takes. And now there's no knight b5 ideas. And now here, this is really just kind of the start of Emory Tate showing his amazing attacking chess. And so most people here will play like knight f3, bishop e2, follow the very basic principles of developing your pieces. But here Emory Tate ignores all these minor pieces, ignores all these kind of central pawns and plays h4 here. I mean, who plays h4 here? Well, I mean, it looks like Emory Tate does. Knight f6 was played. And now Emory Tate keeps on moving his pawns up like a savage. h5. This is just nasty. Knight h5, and now goes knight f3. I just want to say, most of the times when you sacrifice your pawn, you normally take and take back. And normally you sacrifice the exchange, but you get open files. But here, black hasn't castled, so black can castle queenside. So I'm guessing that's why Emory Tate didn't take back. Instead, he just continually just develops with the knight misplaced on h5. Knight c6 was played, and now bishop g5. So now bishop g5 comes with tempi because it hits this queen. Tempi, developing your pieces with tempi is one of those concepts where you want to develop your pieces right. Can you develop your pieces while attacking the other side's pieces, and they have to react to it, so they can't just develop their pieces normally? For example, after bishop g5, you can't just play bishop d7 here because we take your queen, so you have to react to it. So, after bishop g5, queen c7 was played, and here bishop e2 is played. Now, this move may seem very innocent, but it definitely has some kind of dangerous ideas, as you'll see. e5 is played, and now knight h4. I do want to say here that why was e5 played? I mean, your king here is very open. You're almost one move away from castling, and your white pieces are looking actually very dangerous here. The knight is misplaced, so why would you not try like a move like maybe like bishop d7, or try kind of block this bishop so you can castle queenside? Why would you go e5 here? Well, say black here goes, this for example goes bishop e7 here. Then we can actually strike in the center with e5. Now we've really just kind of smash open. We can go knight d2 here, threaten this, and we're threatening to take back. For example, say this is played, we can come here, 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 and now this is extremely deadly. I mean, this king now is extremely weak. This checkmate threats every single place. This knight's coming in here. This position is pretty much lost. So, for that reason, his opponent, Alexander Ivanov, goes e5 here because he wants to stop any e5 pushes of Emory Tate. Anyway, Emory Tate here goes knight h4. Now, rook f8 is played. Now you see this bishop and this queen battery, and now we take. That was the idea of bishop e2. And now we take back the check. The rook blocks, and here knight f3 is played. Bishop e6, trying to target this pawn, trying to develop with tempi, hitting this pawn while developing the bishop. Here Emory Tate just plays a very nasty move, and this whole knight maneuver from h4 to f3, and as you see, bishop h4 was played here. Bishop c4 is played. Emory Tate just says, take my pawn, I don't want it, because Emory Tate has better ideas in store. He goes knight g5 now. So as you see, this knight has hopped from here to here, so it's from here, 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 and here. So, very nasty stuff. Queen h4, queen h5 looks quite deadly. It was not entirely clear how he defend this pawn, but Emory Tate comes up with a great idea. He goes rook h3, bringing something into the attack and defending this. Because, for example, after this, we actually are almost threatening rook f3, because this cannot be taken because it's pinned, it would be in check. So this rook can also be very useful. So rook h3 is played, and now knight d4, clever move, because we cannot take here because we'll be in check. This is called a pin, because this pawn is pinned, because it can't take, because it would be in check. And now after knight d4, knight f7 is played, bishop f7, and now queen g5. Ignoring this threat here, Emory Tate says, I don't really care about that. e7 is played. I do want to say, if this is played, then we can just go king d2, and now we're hitting this knight, and we're threatening checkmate in one, and it'll be absolutely over. So for that reason, king d7 is played. Now after king d7, queen e7 is played, checking the king. King c6. Emory Tate plays a very cool and collected move. He plays rook b1, just cutting off this file so this king can't retreat here. And after knight c2, king d2, in this position, Emory Tate's opponent, a very well respected Grandmaster, resigns. Now this is just completely over because there's too many pieces hanging. This bishop is hanging, this knight is hanging. We're threatening checkmate in one, really on b7. This position is just too good. Say if rook b8 was played, then we can just simply take this bishop. We're threatening all kinds of things here. Its rook can come into game. We're also threatening this knight. And this position is just simply lost because Emory Tate's up too much material. I hope you enjoyed this video. And let me know if you want to see more Emory Tate videos. And have a good rest of your day.